Hello everyone, and sorry for a big gap in videos. We've been sick yet again, and you're gonna hear that in this video. I'm a little bit congested still, but I have some time while the baby's still napping. Hopefully, I'm kind of at the tail end of his nap, so hopefully I can get this video filmed before he wakes up. Got a green tea with lots of honey in it, trying to get better. But I did want to sit down and chat about this baby and give you guys a proper update, because I have barely put any bump dates out this pregnancy, and maybe it's a fourth baby thing, but I think it's more of having a baby and being pregnant. I'm just so much busier, and then this year has just been really crazy. With my HG in the first trimester, it was really hard to film anything, and then all the time where I was able to catch videos with Zeg when I was pregnant with him, that time is now taken up by Zeg himself. So, and then we've been sick, and it's just been a whirlwind. And so I was like, hey, I'm gonna try and sit down and film a video like every week or every 2 weeks, and just document the rest of this pregnancy, because we are about to enter the third trimester. So when filming this and when you're seeing this, well, you won't see this today, but I am 26 weeks and 5 days, I think. So you'll probably see this one in 26 weeks and 6 days, so almost 27 weeks. I have one more week of my second trimester left, and that's it. And then we're on to the final stretch, which is just wild to me. I do want to update you guys on the whole gallbladder situation, but I'll do that. I'll kind of talk about the baby and how I've been doing, and then I'll launch into all the stuff I've learned about the gallbladder situation, because that's obviously related to my pregnancy. So there's just been a lot going on, but I can't believe that we are rounding out the second trimester. It just goes, this pregnancy is flying by like so fast. It must just be because I'm busier and my days are more full, but like the sicknesses are not helping. I feel like February and March just went by in a snap. Like we're almost at the end of March here, and it's just like, where did that go? Wasn't it just March? What happened? I'm so ready for spring and warmth, and to just like really get into my nesting pregnancy zone. Baby is doing so well and so healthy. I had to postpone my midwife appointment because we got sick, so I'll be seeing my midwife this week, and that is really exciting. So I get to listen to baby and have a little feel, but I'm feeling really good. Some things that are noteworthy. So you guys know that I suffered from really bad SPD pain, or sorry, alarm went off. So yeah, you guys know that I suffered from really bad SPD or pelvic girdle pain in my last pregnancy. And then in this pregnancy, it was actually one of my first pregnancy symptoms, which was really strange. And it was pretty bad in my first trimester again, and I was really worried. I was like, oh no, if it's already bad before I even have any weight of the baby, like what is this pregnancy gonna be like? And I'm chasing this toddler, and I don't know how I'm gonna cope with that. So I was concerned with that, but I hit my second trimester, and suddenly the SPD pain just went away. And I would say probably about 14 weeks, something like that. It just vanished, and it has not returned, and I'm so grateful. I don't know why. I don't know if my pelvis shifted. I don't know if some of the stuff I'm doing, like, I don't know if it's just yoga or if my pelvis is just more aligned. I'm not sure, but I've had no pelvic girdle pain. The only discomfort I felt is some sciatic pain on my one side, which is very normal for me to have like little flare-ups of that just in general, never mind in pregnancy. But I'm just so grateful that that has disappeared, and I'm really hoping that it stays away. So as I'm sitting, I'm trying to be really conscious of like my posture and how I'm sitting, and keeping my knees together when I get up and down, from like seated positions and in and out of the car. Just trying to be really cautious. I've been walking. Well, we just had a huge snowstorm. We got like 2 feet of snow. But before that, it was like 16 degrees Celsius. It was beautiful and warm and like almost hot. We were walking in t-shirts. And for about a week and a half, I was walking every single day. So I would go out for a walk. I would take Zeg. Sometimes the other kids would come with me. and I was walking with a friend, and I'm trying to build up like walk resistance, I don't know, stamina, and seeing how far I can go, because I used to go for 4 to 5K walks every single day, and I don't want to like hurt my pelvis at all. So but the walks felt so good, and they didn't flare up any pelvic pain, and it wasn't stiff after. So I've been so excited about that. Like if you've had really bad SPD and really bad pelvic girdle pain, like it is an indescribable discomfort, and you will do anything you can to avoid it. So just having it and then having it go away is just miraculous. I'm still taking like my Epsom salt baths when I bath probably every, I don't know, I probably have like 4 or 5 baths a week, and I take like nice hot Epsom salt baths, and that really helped. So I've been continuing that just to like maintain and support. I don't know what it is, but anyway, so I've just been slowly trying to like tick up my fitness level a little bit, go for walks, practice yoga. There are some like yoga poses I have to avoid because it's the only time I notice any sensitivity in my pelvis, but I just have to say that it has like disappeared, and I really hope it stays away. And we're entering the 3rd trimester, and I still feel good, and it's making me hopeful. I don't know, I feel like it's too soon to like fully predict, but I'm kind of getting the intuition feeling, and like just feeling him, that he is a bigger baby. With Zeg, my belly got really big, and my belly is much bigger this time. Like I'm quite large already. I'll show my belly at the end of this video. I always forget to do that, but his movements already are getting really big. Like I'm pretty sure he's still head down, and it's just staying that way. My babies tend to get head down pretty early, and they just stay snug there. I'll have my midwife double check to see if she can make sure that he's still head down. But his movements, I'm feeling rolls and elbows and kicks and pushed out feet now, and his body movements just feel like he's slowing down with like room to move and like flip and do all these crazy somersaults earlier than with Zeg. So it's making me think that maybe he is bigger already. He was measuring, I only had the 2 ultrasounds. Well, technically I've had more, but they weren't for the baby. I had to have a couple of ultrasounds for my gallbladder and stuff, and because I was having issues there, we just quickly checked on the baby and made sure his heart was okay. But like every time I had like a proper ultrasound, and at my anatomy scan he was measuring a full week ahead. So that would make sense if he was a large lad. So I don't know yet. Like with Grayson, I knew he was a big baby, and he was 9 pounds when he was born. And with Zeg, I couldn't tell. I was like, I don't know if he's big. I don't know. I really couldn't tell. I felt like my belly was big, but I couldn't feel if he was. And this time I'm feeling that like bigness from the baby again. So we shall see how big he is. What else? Sorry if you guys hear some background noises. My kids are just up and like making lunch and puttering around in the kitchen. So yeah, he's moving every day. He's got a pattern now. Like we're at that point where when I sit down, I'm feeling him consistently. I can tell when he's like sleeping and when he's awake. And at about 10 o'clock at night, I guess no, it's probably earlier than that, probably about 9 o'clock, 9:30, when I get into bed, he has a little party and he goes crazy and he's like pushing and jumping and like doing all sorts of stuff. The kids like to come in at that time when I'm like settled down and like give him a little feel, because he's usually active, or Cody will come feel him because he's just bopping around like crazy. Last night I did have like a insomnia night, kind of, a little bit. Like I had a really hard time falling asleep, and that's the first time this pregnancy. I don't know if I think it's because I'm sick though, and I couldn't breathe through my nose last night, and I was like mouth breathing. That's not comfortable. So I think sleep is pretty good. I feel like sleep is better this pregnancy even than it was with Zeg's pregnancy. And I wonder, like I'm still getting up in the night with Zagreus, but I wonder if that's just because like I'm so tired from parenting all these other kids and keeping up with well, I guess he's 15 months now. He just turned 15 months. 15-month-old little baby. I don't know if like that is making me more tired and having good sleeps, My friend also gave me her pregnancy pillow. I didn't use a pregnancy pillow with Zay because I didn't think I needed one. I had so many other pillows, but I also wonder if that has something to do with less SPD pain, because this pregnancy pillow in particular is so supportive and it has made me sleep like so much better. Zay's also mostly sleeping through the night. We're not nursing through the night anymore. Like, he's night weaned. He'll get up for a drink of water and go straight back to sleep. So that has been really nice, and I think all those things are contributing to a better sleep. So aside from that, like, I am feeling so good this pregnancy that it's hard, because on one hand, this has been a really difficult pregnancy in some ways. First trimester so I found out I was pregnant when Zay was 9 months old, and going through my first trimester and having HG with a little baby was difficult. I medicated, so it wasn't as bad, but it was still tough. It was like having a stomach flu for 3 months and just feeling off while trying to care for a baby. That was really tough. So like, on one hand, hard, but also not as bad as my normal because I was medicated this time. Obviously we've had this like whole gallbladder fiasco, and we've had like some weird things that happened that just made it a little more like maybe mentally challenging. But I feel so good, and now that we figured out the gallbladder stuff, like, I feel so good, to the point where, yes, I feel pregnant because now I'm getting a little bit breathless, and maybe like I'll like run out, I'll lose my breath if I wind up on my back in the night or something like that. But for the most part, I just feel really healthy and really good, and I don't feel very pregnant in like a cumbersome way. So yeah, I'm really happy to report that I'm feeling really good, just physically and mentally. The only thing mentally, I feel like I'm starting to run out of time now. I feel very prepared physically. Like, we really don't need anything for this baby. We have so many things, and one of my really close friends, she is done having babies, and she had a baby just a few months before, like a few months after I had Zay. So her baby is younger than Zay, still just a little baby, but obviously older than this one. And so she's just been giving me all of her baby stuff, and she had 2 boys. And so it's just worked out that we're having another boy, and she's just been so generous in gifting us so many clothes and little things like that. And we already had so much from Zeg. And when you have 4 children, you just know that you don't need a lot of stuff. So like, the stuff front, I feel really prepared for, and I just have to pick up I'm gonna start collecting some home birth stuff. I had a little bit left over from my last home birth, so that's good. And so it's not gonna take me very long to physically prepare for this baby, but mentally I am starting to be like, oh, I really have to get in the zone now. I know now that pregnancy is a mental game, like labor is a mental game. Yes, you need physical strength and stuff, but your body pretty much just births for you. But it is a mental game for sure. Whether or not I think you have long or fast labors, you need to have the mental capacity to handle labor if it's long, and you need the mental capacity to accept labor if it's very short. So I know I need to get in the right mindset, and there's a mindset I like to get in before I give birth, and a bubble I like to create around my family, and just an energy I like to bring into my home. And I feel like, oh, that time is coming. Like, we have, give or take, probably 14 weeks until this baby arrives, like just under 3 months. There's a lot to do. I've got to put the garden in and all that kind of stuff, and I need to just really hunker down and like get my brain ready. So that's been something I've been thinking about a lot, but then we got sick, and I just feel like I keep getting pushed back. So it's something that's on my mind, and something you'll probably notice I just like get a little more, I don't know, introspective maybe. But I'm just doing small things, like I'm working on his baby blanket and doing things like that, and that feels really good. So as far as pregnancy stuff, I think that's all I have to tell you for like updates. I'm sorry, I feel like maybe that's why I feel like also I haven't done a ton of these videos, because I just feel like I don't have a ton to report. Everything is so healthy and good with him. I just feel like he's just this beautiful, vibrant, healthy boy, and I feel really good. My like blood levels are really good, because I don't normally get stuff like that tested, but because of the gallbladder stuff I ended up checking, so it's nice to know that like my iron levels are right where they should be or higher, and they're good. And I just feel the vitality. I feel nourished and I feel well, and that has been like, that makes all the difference. Looking back between all my pregnancies, like feeling well is a game changer in pregnancy. So I'm starting to feel a little bit, not bittersweet, but I'm also exploring like emotions of this being my last baby. It's weird. Like I feel content, but there is also like a not a sadness, but like am I sure? And I don't know. It's a strange thing. So I'm exploring those feelings too. I think 4 kids is definitely enough for me, but it's just this like weird thing when you close the chapter. It's interesting, especially I think in my experience where I thought I closed that door and then we reopened it later, and we've gone through all this stuff, and you guys have watched this huge journey of us having these babies, these last 2 babies. And it's like a weird thing to close that door when we worked so hard to open it. So like there's a lot there too. So that's something I've been like just sitting with a little bit and feeling out and thinking about. So anyway, okay, so this is getting long, so let's jump right in. Hold on. I just had to make sure we were still recording, because I used my watch for the first time. I learned that I can use my watch to record myself and watch the feed. So anyway, this is getting long, so I want to talk about the gallbladder thing a little bit. So I think I kind of gave like 2 updates in 2 different vlogs, but we were in the middle of like this, we've been sick for 2 months, you guys, like 2 months straight. This is the first time I've been sick, but just somebody in the house has been sick for 2 months straight, and it has been exhausting. And then in the middle of all of that, I had a gallbladder attack. I actually had 2 gallbladder attacks in one day. Before I knew it was a gallbladder attack, I had a really big attack, and then I got a 2-hour break, and then I had another one that was like worse. And so I went into the hospital to make sure it wasn't kidneys or pancreas or something like a twisted intestine or something like that, just to rule out, especially because I was pregnant. Went for a bunch of testing. Again, if you want to watch like the story of what happened, then scroll back a few vlogs. It's something about like a health update or something like that. So we learned that it was my gallbladder, and I have gallstones, and sometimes pregnancy can cause gallstones. Sometimes pregnancy can activate gallstones that were there that you didn't know about. It is, I guess, pretty commonplace to have gallstones and them just be kind of there, and you never really have an issue with them. The reason you have gallbladder attacks is usually because you're passing a gallstone, and it can get stuck in the like opening of your gallbladder, and that causes like extreme pain. The pain of a gallbladder attack is really intense. It's like being in labor, like towards the end when you're getting towards transition. And it's like, if you've given birth before, naturally especially, it's like a contraction, like one of those contractions, but you get no breaks, and it doesn't stop for like 2 hours. So I have had another attack or 2 other, I've had 3 attacks. One of them I had when my friends were here, which was very strange. It came out of nowhere, but I was kind of glad to have them, and it was my quickest attack yet. It was only about 40 minutes. So they were some of my closest girlfriends though, so I was like, no, you can stay. And they played, all our babies were playing, and they really helped me get through it. But having this gallbladder thing kind of set me down this rabbit hole. So I agreed to get some testing done to rule out some things. So I went and had like a really thorough ultrasound of my organs, and like the day after my big attack, the first initial thing. I'd never have any gallbladder issues ever before this. And so we did an ultrasound of my liver and my kidneys, my pancreas, my gallbladder, obviously, and we saw gallstones. There's no sludge in my, so if you're aware of, I'm sharing this for people who maybe also have gallstones and understand about this especially. So if I lose you, if you're not familiar with this a little bit, I'm sorry. But I just want to kind of be a little bit thorough for people who are on their own gallbladder journey. So I had no sludge or anything like that. They were all like freely moving, and that's a really good sign. So they're not like stuck, and it's not so bad. I do have several stones, so that is like not the best, and some of them were like decently big, most of them were small. Then I just went down a rabbit hole. The good thing is, like, my kidneys were great, my pancreas is great, and my liver is great. So something I learned, like, I went down a rabbit hole and learned all about gallbladder and how it's like basically the garage for your liver. It's like a very important organ that shouldn't just be removed, because it can increase your chance of cancer if you remove it, and it does a lot of work for your liver, and it's a huge part of like the detox process, and it plays a giant role in digestion. So I started to learn more about like what is linked with gallbladder issues, and like how did those stones get there? What's the root cause? I always try and dig down to the root cause, because I feel like just going and having my gallbladder removed would just be a band-aid solution. Like, how did they get there? Can you dissolve them? Can you heal them on your own? And the answer is yes, you can absolutely dissolve gallstones. You can absolutely heal your gallbladder. And normally it's from a stressed liver. And usually it's from, if you have gallstones, especially like to the degree that I've got, you normally have something called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, where your liver is too fatty, but it's caused from, like, it's not caused from alcohol, because I don't drink, so it's not something that's could be a possibility. So having the ultrasound and the really thorough workup of my liver, so I had like a liver panel and blood draws of my liver, and then I did this like big ultrasound and stuff. I learned that I don't even have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. I don't have any apparent issues with my liver, which is a fantastic sign, and it was great news. So I'm gonna skip some stuff, because I learned so much, you guys. In the last month, I have learned so much. I've talked to doctors, I've talked to other just kind of people who are in the healthcare field and knew something about gallbladders. I've done hours of research. It's been a whole journey. And something that popped up and caught my eye in my own journey, now this is not for everybody, just because I've made the link doesn't mean necessarily you will if you have gallstones. But for me, I learned something about MTHFR, and that's a gene that we all carry. And I knew about it before, because I'm holistic and in the health world. And if you are quite in the health world, you'll know probably or have heard of MTHFR. And there was this link between having an MTHFR gene mutation, and it can eventually cause gallstones, because Cliff Notes version, if you have an MTHFR gene mutation, it means your body can't metabolize B vitamins, which are crucial for liver and so many other things, but really specifically to the gallbladder. It really helps you create bile and detox your liver and keep things healthy and like flowing. And if you can't process and absorb B vitamins, then your body's constantly working in overtime, because it's not getting enough of that nutrient, even though you're eating things that are fortified, or even taking a fortified B supplement. That gene mutation means you can't process the synthetic version of B vitamins. So with that, and it makes it harder to just like process other. So I started looking into more symptoms of MTHFR, which I had already suspected before, but I kind of put it to the side long ago. Talked to doctors, talked to my doctor, blah, blah, blah. Did a lot of stuff. I can pretty confidently say that I have MTHFR gene mutation. I don't know which mutation I have because we haven't tested yet, but it's really hard to get a test here, honestly. Not all doctors will test for it. It's only now kind of becoming more commonplace in the medical field where they don't think you're a crazy person if you bring up MTHFR. They're now like, oh, there's more scientific journals about it, and they're like, oh, this is a real thing, and it can affect it, but not every doctor is educated on it. So it makes it a little bit tricky to diagnose, but it's a pretty, like, treating it is really harmless. Like, it's not going to hurt you if you don't end up having it. So because it was just a B vitamin thing to fix or to help support, which is completely wonderful for pregnancy, I was able to just immediately, kind of after talking to my doctor and everything, I switched to methylated B vitamins. So I started taking a methylfolate, which is a version of the B vitamin that is not synthetic, it's very bioavailable. And I started taking a methylated B12 vitamin, which just, it's not synthetic. So you have to specifically search out and purchase methylated B vitamins for this. And especially in Canada, all of our grains are heavily fortified with B vitamins and iron, and they have to be, like, it's by law here. You can't, like, so the only times you can find things that are not heavily fortified with folate, or with folic acid, sorry, which is like the artificial synthetic form of folate. It is not found in nature. Your body, like, doesn't recognize it as like a real thing. But if you don't have the mutation, then it can, your body can sometimes process it, but like up to 40 to 60% of the population has one of these mutations, yada yada, you know. Basically, I learned that it's this MTHFR, and I started experimenting, and the minute I started taking methylated B vitamins, I was a different human being. Like, my energy levels fixed. Like, I felt incredibly different. It was wild. And I haven't had a gallbladder attack since. Well, no, that's not true. I had that one really small gallbladder attack, but I have been able to go back to my normal pro-metabolic eating, because a lot of people say the protocol for gallbladder is to eat really low fat, but it just intuitively didn't sit really well, because it seemed, again, like a Band-Aid solution. Yes, I was willing to do it to like heal my gallbladder, but I was like, is this actually gonna work? And then I had a gallbladder attack that was triggered by no food at all, no high fat, nothing, after because I track on an app like how much fat intake I'm getting and everything, and I'm still moderating that. I'm still watching my fat intake. I'm making sure I don't get a crazy amount, but I'm also pregnant and I need a good quality fat intake. So with the B vitamins though, and getting methylated B vitamins and supporting that MTHFR gene mutation, I have been able to maintain a totally normal diet of, I already eat a very healthy diet that is actually really, really supportive of gallbladder and liver health. So the brewer diet and just like pro-metabolic diet in general, except for like, I focused a little bit more on making sure I have lots of green vegetables, which sometimes pro-metabolic community can kind of like, nah, we don't really need vegetables, but I have always disagreed with that. So lots of healthy veggies, lots of fruit, and I really have had like no issues. Again, I had one small gallbladder attack, and it was, I don't know what triggered it. It can be triggered by stress too. I'm not sure what happened with that, but also pregnancy can trigger it because of all the hormones. Okay, I'm talking so much, but you guys, I've learned so much about this. I just feel like I'm sputtering out information. But for me, for my gallbladder issues, I'm pretty sure I've narrowed it down to this MTHFR gene mutation. And I was able to do that especially with having some of the blood work that I already had done, and like ruling out fatty liver disease and all those things, because I had like a really thorough ultrasound. That really helped me like take a lot of the guesswork out of diagnosing myself and then confirming with a doctor. I was really able to like research like exactly what blood levels should be what, and like what does this mean in my blood, and what does this mean, and like I went down rabbit hole after rabbit hole. And yeah, after learning, like I was like, I think this is what it is. And then after supporting my that gene mutation. So for me, fat has really nothing to do with it for the gallbladder in my situation because of this gene, but I have to be really, really careful not to consume too much folic acid. So that artificial B vitamin, folic acid. So I had to switch that, like I just had to make small adjustments. So like I enjoy cereal when I'm pregnant and I can't eat like almost any regular cereal. So I switched to buying solely organic cereals, which I should have been doing already, if I'm being honest. But I wasn't because whatever. But they have much less. Sometimes I can find cereals with no added B vitamins. And sometimes, or at the very least, they have much lower content, which my body is able to now kind of handle because I'm already taking these B vitamins that my body can actually absorb. So I'm just really cautious of making sure, like, organic products and whole wheat products usually don't have the added B vitamins because they're the only exception to our law here in Canada. And so I'm still able to find a lot of things that don't have the added folic acid, but the folic acid thing is something I really have to avoid because I'm noticing and looking back because I've tracked all of my food, on like right before my gallbladder attacks, I had really heavy folic acid enriched foods, and it makes so much sense for me. So ever since I switched things up, I have been feeling like $1,000,000. My energy levels are fantastic. Some of like the issues that I thought were just me aren't there. Like my brain fog has reduced significantly. Yeah, I just like, there's so many things. And so I take my B vitamins every morning and I take the rest of my vitamins at night. Like I said, my diet was already really supportive of gallbladder and liver health. And the supplements I was taking, I was already taking a lot of things that were supporting, which probably was why I was always like borderline and just skirting the line because I was keeping it in check just enough. And then I think the hormones of this pregnancy and like maybe 2 pregnancies really close together is maybe what tipped me over the edge into gallbladder attacks. So I'm so confident that I am going to heal and save my gallbladder and not have to have an unnecessary surgery. The fact that I'm not having chronic attacks, the fact that I can eat, like I can still, now I'm at the place now where I can go out and have a cheeseburger and have a Starbucks in the same day, and I'm not going to have a gallbladder attack from that because as long as I'm taking my B vitamins and the rest of my diet is really like supportive and healthy and nutritious, then I'm able to function like a normal person. So I hope that is helpful for anybody who's been following along, because I've gotten a lot of messages being like, are you going to talk more about this? Can you talk more about this? So I'm not recommending anything. I'm just telling you guys my story and what happened with me. There's a lot of reasons, like after doing so much research, there's a lot of reasons somebody might have gallbladder attacks. You might have fatty liver disease. You know, there's a lot of other things. But for me, I have a history of things that line up with MTHFR gene mutation already. And so being able to pinpoint that for myself, put it against the testing that I've already had, speak with some health professionals about it, and just do my own research and just be really educated about this topic, it has made that be the aha moment for me. And I think like when your gallbladder is going into attacks, it's kind of like a bat signal. It's your body telling you something is not right. It's your body telling you it needs more support. Like it's our job to find out why. Why is my body doing this? What is it asking for? What does it need? What is it missing? And so for me, it was this big cry for help of like, hey, we're not absorbing B vitamins. It's like, I don't know, if you have, like, again, 40 to 60% of the population has one of the MTHFR gene mutations. And some people can go their whole lives and it doesn't really affect them. And some people have a lot of symptoms and negative effects because of it. And it's like when you take B vitamins and it turns your pee like that Gatorade neon yellow, like probably shouldn't be happening. It just means like, because vitamin B is water soluble, so it just means you're like peeing everything out. You're not absorbing anything. And so like taking B vitamins doesn't turn my pee any sort of color because my body's absorbing all of it, and it's like, thank you. So that was a huge indicator too. So you just gotta be careful because that folate is sneaky, and those added B vitamins are sneaky, and those synthetic B vitamins are sneaky. Be careful of those like trendy energy drinks and supplements and stuff that are loaded with B vitamins. Watch yourself. But yeah, I'm just sharing just in case, because if I can help anybody just shine a little bit of light and have a little bit of clarity, you don't have to get your gallbladder removed if you don't want to. That is always your choice. I had a doctor that the first doctor I spoke to like in the emergency room was like, there's a 50% chance that you'll have to have your gallbladder removed by the end of this pregnancy. And I was like, if I choose to do that. And he was like, oh, well, yeah, I guess if you choose to do that. Like, yeah, because that's your choice. Nobody's going to tell you that you have to do something. It's fully your choice. And there are other ways. A lot of the times, there are other ways. Thank goodness for Western medicine being there when we need it. Like, I was so happy to go to the emergency room and check and make sure things were okay. But I'm also happy that because of that, I was able to go a different route and just not go for a unnecessary surgery right now. So we'll see what the future holds. But right now I feel like I'm really happy with the route I'm taking. I'm excited to have more things confirmed later on when I'm not pregnant anymore. And yeah, there's the big gallbladder update. So hopefully that was helpful. And I wouldn't stop talking at you because my baby should be waking up soon. And we will see you guys in the next video. If videos are a little bit delayed, I'm sorry, as we catch up and get less sick. So thank you for watching, you guys, and we'll see you in my next one. Bye.